more than a tower of concrete and steel. This building is society's defiant, uncompromising challenge to all those who transgress the law. For this is the Hall of Justice. And here to give life and meaning to that challenge is the office of the Public Prosecutor. Shall we drop in for a visit?
Hello. We've been expecting you. The prosecutor thought you might find this case interesting. Will you come this way?
I'm not sure about this.
I'm tired of this. I don't want
Isn't Mr. Allen carrying this a little bit too far? What does he want with us now?
Please be seated. The prosecutor will see you in a moment.
Oh, hello. Nice to see you.
The people you're waiting for are here.
Good. I'll be set in a little while. You know what you have to do when we're ready, Patricia.
I think I've got it straight.
Fine. I'm glad you dropped in while we're working on this case. I think you'll agree it's quite unusual. It started out as an accident, turned into suicide, and finally proved to be murder. The lieutenant here... Oh, I'm sorry. This is Lieutenant Evans.
Hiya.
Lieutenant and I are setting the stage for the climax of the case. This unwieldy object the lieutenant is holding is going to be our star witness against, well, one of those three people outside. Oh, sit down, won't you? To begin with, we got a routine accident report. A girl drove her car off the road.
Yeah, poor kid. We found her car, what was left of it, in a ravine off Summit Drive.
The name on that report rang a bell in my mind. Marcia Harrison. You see, just the day before, a girl by that name phoned and asked for an appointment to see me. She said it was urgent. Just on a hunch, the lieutenant and I visited the little apartment that Marcia Harrison shared with another girl on Greenwood Road. There, we found a suicide note in the typewriter. Dear Hazel, since Fred died, I haven't been any good to myself or anyone else. Forgive me, but I can't go on this way, Marcia.
What do you think of that?
I don't know. You don't phone your public prosecutor for an appointment for the next morning and then commit suicide the night before. Somehow it just doesn't smell right.
Looks like she was just learning to type.
Yes, that probably accounts for the mistakes in this suicide note.
Marcia.
Well, how do you do?
Who are you?
Who are you? This happens to be my apartment.
Well, we're sorry, miss.
Rollins, Hazel Rollins.
We're here on a matter concerning Marcia Harrison. I'm Public Prosecutor Allen. This is Lieutenant Evans.
What's happened to Marcia?
Everything, lady. She's dead.
What?
She left a note. I believe it's for you, Miss Rollins. Apparently, she drove her car off Summit Drive. We found her in a ravine out there.
I wouldn't touch that.
I had a feeling she might do something like this.
Oh?
About a year ago, her husband, that's the Fred she's talking about, died in a veterans hospital. So I took her in to live with me. I tried to make her snap out of it. I even got her my old job as secretary in a doctor's office.
Secretary?
Yes. Dr. Walton said he'd string along with her until she got through business school. Excuse me, please. I feel like a #1 heel.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, tonight I got sore and told Marcia she'd have to get out, find some other place to live.
Well, so you had a fight with her, huh?
Yeah, and over a heel who isn't worth spitting on twice. Yeah, that's him.
Marcia doesn't sound like the grief-stricken widow.
Oh, she wasn't chasing him. It was Ricky.
Ricky?
Ricky Adams. He works for Dr. Walton, too. Tonight I found out they were going out together, and I guess I blew my top.
Miss Rollins, how did you spend this evening?
Walking. I figured maybe if I got my feet to hurt bad enough, I'd stop thinking about that. You boys are cute. Be sure you bring the frame back. It's silver.
Lieutenant likes to play sleuth, Miss Rollins. Well, I guess we'll be on our way. We may get in touch with you later.
Oh, not any more tonight, please. I have a definite feeling that I'm going to latch onto a bottle and drink myself into distinction.
Adams?
Oh. Coppers, huh?
How'd you guess?
Them bunion traps?
A wise guy, huh?
Yeah. Look, why don't you guys let me alone? I'm a good boy now. I'm minding my own business. I got a job. Driving for the doctor.
Okay, then you got nothing to worry about. This job with a doctor must suit you fine. You can wander around looking like something fresh out of Esquire.
Just what do you know about Marcia Harrison?
She got herself in a jam, she can just get herself out of it. No dame is gonna make me come crawling back once she stood me up. Not this point.
I don't think you could crawl back to her, Ricky.
What do you mean by that?
She's dead.
What is this?
She's dead. You were the last person seen with her. We know that you and Marcia left Hazel Rollins' apartment together last night.
So what? We were driving out toward the Club Lido on Route 12. And I suddenly remembered something I had to do back at the doctor's office.
What kind of job?
What difference can that make? Anyway, I told her I'd meet her later at the Lido, and she dropped me off at a corner. When I got to the office, Nora, the cleaning woman, was there.
Ah. Are you gorgeous?
Hmm? I'll be in the other office for a while. Well, so long, Nora. I'll be seeing you. Well, I beat it out to Toledo, waited around for 2 hours, but Marcia never showed. What do you mean she's dead?
You can read all about it in the papers.
I'd make it a point to be around in case we want to get in touch with you. When we finished with Ricky, we decided to visit the other member of the trio, Dr. Walton. It seemed a little strange. Everything somehow revolving around this doctor. The dead girl, Marcia, was his secretary. The dead girl's roommate was his secretary before that. The dead girl's suitor was the doctor's chauffeur.
Here, Chief. I'm not going to let you skip lunch altogether.
Thanks. Poor man's champagne.
What luck?
It's pretty good. We got a report from Miami. Seems that Dr. Walton is mixed up in some shenanigans with one of his wealthy patients. Lady patient.
Hi, Chief. Hi, Pat.
Hello.
Hey, you know those pictures of Ricky and Hazel? Well, the boys covered about half the doctors in town with them, and 4 of them recognized that pair.
What's the racket?
Boy, this is cute. You know how careful a doctor has to be with his reputation, especially where women patients are concerned? Here's the routine. Hazel waltzes into some doctor's office with an imaginary ailment. When she's saying goodbye to the doc, she puts the bee on the poor guy. She threatens to complain about him getting fresh with her. The doc doesn't play ball. Ricky boy follows up.
I wonder if that isn't what Marcia Harrison wanted to tell me. Evans, I think we're going to turn the tables on Dr. Walton. This time, we're going to examine the doctor.
Just a moment, gentlemen. I want to finish this letter. Very awkward, being without a secretary.
That can wait. Now, about this little racket, Doctor. Are you denying or admitting that Hazel and Ricky are working for you?
I'm not admitting or denying anything, Mr. Prosecutor.
We'll take care of that later. Right now, I'm more interested in the murder of Marcia Harrison.
Murder? Why, I thought it was a suicide. Grief over her husband. The papers said.
I think it was murder. Somebody forced her car off the road.
Well, I certainly hope you find the scoundrel who did it.
Don't worry, we will.
Just for the record, Doctor, where were you last evening between 7 and 9?
Why, let me see. Oh, yes, I took in a picture at the Cameo.
I suppose you can prove that.
Well, I suppose so. Whenever I go to a theater, I always leave word at the box office where I'll be sitting. You know, in case of important call.
So you had a couple hours to slip out of any exit and still have yourself an alibi, huh?
I was asked a question, and I answered it.
Well, well. Come in. I thought you three would be having a council of war sooner or later.
I happen to work for Dr. Walton, remember?
He's in a very bad mood, Mr. Allen.
We're very worried.
Dr. Walton, your secretary.
Oh, thanks. Yes, Patricia. You still at the apartment? Well, what's taking you so long getting that sample of typing? What? Where did you find it? Yes, that may very well clinch it. I don't know. Good girl. You stay where you are. We'll be along in a little while. Yeah.
Listen, Alan, unless you have a definite charge to make, you can get in touch with me through my lawyer.
Okay. I guess that'll be all for now. I think we'll be seeing each other again soon.
In other words, stick around. You know, Chief, we could be barking up the wrong tree. Those three people could be in on this racket and still...
Yeah, I know.
What was that telephone thing with Patricia?
Oh, just our Miss Kelly playing detective again. She found a notation on Marcia's calendar making a beauty parlor appointment for today. And to quote Patricia, no woman does that when she's thinking of suicide.
Well, that only adds to your theory, that's all. You know, that girl's going to have my job yet.
Say, Evans.
Yeah?
That talk I had with Patricia on the phone, the three of them overheard that. They know she's in Hazel's apartment.
So?
From the conversation, they're bound to think that she's found something that really puts the finger on one of them.
Holy mackerel, that's right.
Hello.
Are you all right?
I think so.
Well, I guess my job's still safe.
Did you see who it was?
I think I was too scared.
Well, that settles it. One of our trio is willing to commit another murder to cover up the first one. And I think I know who it is. Patricia, sit down at the typewriter a minute. Type, now is the time for all good men. But slowly. I've got it. Sure, that's it. Evans, round up our three suspects and see that they get to the office.
Pardon me, but did I do something right?
Honey, you just put your dainty little fingers on Marcia Harrison's murderer. Well, that brings us right down to the present. And in a few moments, after Lieutenant Evans gets back, we'll be able to wrap up this case.
All right, folks. Sit down.
Well, I think we're about ready to start. Let's go back and see where our murderer slipped up. Let's consider what his problem was. He had to type a suicide note that would look as though Marcia Harrison had typed it. He saw these practice sheets the girl had been working on. Now, remember, Marcia was still studying typing, hence these mistakes. So, the murderer reasoned, he had to make mistakes in the suicide note, too. Lieutenant, you can put that up now. That's the wrong side, Lieutenant.
Huh? Oh.
Now, as you can see, this is a typewriter keyboard chart. You'll find one in every secretarial school. It's used to teach touch typing. Is that right, Miss Kelly?
That's right.
And here's the suicide note. Notice the kind of mistakes that are made. You see, the murderer wanted to make mistakes, but just as important, he wanted to make mistakes that wouldn't destroy the meaning of his note. And that's where our homicidal friend slipped up, because he made the wrong kind of mistakes. Marcia was studying the touch system. She would never have made mistakes that took her fingers from here to here. The errors she made on those practice sheets were natural ones, made by hitting the wrong key, right next to the one she wanted.
This is a very intriguing lecture on the principles of typing. But just what has it to do with us?
Well, it eliminates you, Doctor. You know how to type. And you used the touch system when Evans and I were in your office.
Now, look,
Yes, I know. You know how to type, too. You used to be a secretary. Ricky?
Look, I don't know what you're trying to prove, but
Would you mind moving back, Doctor? Ricky, come over here a minute.
Okay.
Now, sit down. You know how to type?
Yeah, a little bit, but I...
Copy a few lines of this.
What are you doing if I can't see
It
the
isn't
key?
easy, is it, Ricky? Not as easy as forcing a girl's car off the road and killing her.
What are you talking about?
Not as easy as setting up an alibi with a cleaning woman. So she'd think you were in that back room for almost an hour.
Look, if you think that...
Sit down, lady killer.
After that attack on Patricia, I knew that one of the three of you was the killer. The one who didn't know how to type. You're that one, Ricky. You just proved it yourself.
But... All right, I did it. I had to do it, Walton. Don't you understand? I took too many drinks one night, and I started blabbing off about shaking down the doctors. I had to do it. Marcia was going to tell Alan all about us, don't you?
Well, there's another case for the files. The one marked case closed.